our other top story. It's an announcement that could wipe the slate clean for low-level marijuana offenders.
They say past charges and convictions have been a big stumbling block in moving forward in their lives. News 8's Alicia Summers has more tonight on the city attorney's effort to throw out thousands of cases.
If you were caught with pot before it became legal, good news, the city attorney stood in front of the Hall of Justice today to announce that her office will be dismissing thousands of low-level marijuana cases.
Because of a misdemeanor marijuana conviction, thousands of otherwise law-abiding San Diegans are being held back when it comes to getting a job, housing, or even volunteering at their children's schools.
Marijuana convictions under obsolete laws should not stand in the way of anyone's future.
That's why the city's attorney's office is working with the Superior Court and California Department of Justice to identify those eligible for relief.
Cases eligible for dismissal include convictions for possessions of 28.5 grams or less of marijuana and possession of 8 grams or less of concentrated cannabis.
Under AB 1793, passed by Assemblymember Dr. Shirley Weber and her colleagues in the state legislature, prosecutors are tasked with reviewing low-level marijuana convictions before July 1st of 2020.
It is interesting that despite the fact that African Americans are only 6% of the population, we represent 25% of the marijuana convictions statewide. So this is a major, major experience for African Americans. These convictions are just another impediment to persons of color succeeding in society.
The city attorney's office is reviewing 5,000 misdemeanor and infractions from 2009 through 2018 and thousands more before that time period.
It takes a little bit of time to go through all the databases to ensure nobody's left behind. So today we will file our first 30 requests.
If you would like to know if you are on the list of marijuana cases that are scheduled to be dismissed, you can call or email the city attorney's office. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Alicia.